Okay, this video is Durian Rider, Nutrition Hero number 14. Why Durian? His real name is actually Harley Johnstone. He calls himself Durian Rider after durian the fruit, and he's a bicycle rider. Well, I like a lot of things about him. He turned his life around. He was a homeless drug addict. And I admire people who bounce out of their problems and improve themselves. He tells the truth. Most of the nutrition experts and doctors on the internet, they're all a bunch of liars, okay? They're being paid to promote things, or they're just ignoramuses. You go on the internet, you'll see. You got cardiologists promoting olive oil. You know, any cardiologist who promotes olive oil is a liar. I wouldn't listen to him, okay? You got these other people promoting fish oil. Anybody who studies fish oil pretty closely, it's obvious it's not a good idea, okay? You got people promoting MSG, saying MSG is okay. You know, they're saying that nuts are good for you. Maybe in small amounts, but nuts are complex and they're very fat. There's tons of evidence to support the idea of you don't want to be eating fat. Unless you really want to gain weight, it's probably maybe the safest way to gain weight. But nuts in general, as a habit, eating all that fat, not a good idea. There are lots of people on the internet telling you caffeine is great. They're either stupid, you know, and from all the stuff, the advertisement they've heard of caffeine, or they are dishonest, okay? And don't get me wrong, caffeine can be a performance stimulant in some cases, but there's special cases. And Durian's pretty honest about that. He talks about where it is helpful and then where it is harmful, sort of an honest assessment. That's what I like about him. He tells the truth as best he can. He tests out his ideas with his training. And I like that. The guy's training every day, you know. He's not just working in some ivory tower place and clueless, okay? You know, basically, it's almost by definition, somebody from a university is almost always an ignoramus, okay? Durian's out there in the real world competing himself as an athlete in running and in bicycling, training people to compete in these competitions. So he's dealing with real world results, and it matters, okay? So that's admirable. Whereas you go to somebody from university, they have to promote, you know, the pharmaceutical company that they're doing research for. They have to promote meat because they're an agricultural college, okay? You almost never hear anybody say anything worthwhile from a university. Okay, so this guy, Durian, you know, just out living his life in playing sports, he tells you the truth. What else? He's got a lot of trainees that have been successful. You know, his most famous trainee was Freely the Banana Girl. Her name's like Leanne, so Freely is like Free Leanne. And she's pretty famous. You know, don't get me wrong. They had a relationship. It's all kind of crazy, and I'm not going to go into that stuff. But it's also kind of entertaining. Other things I like about Durian, he challenges conventional nutritional advice. He says that sugar is the best performance enhancer, and that can be kind of funny. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of debates about sugars, and then you start refining the details. But anyways, he's interesting on that subject. I like the fact he travels to other countries, and he doesn't just tell you about Asians. He trains with them. He knows them personally. And, you know, like I saw one video where he's with a lady in a grocery store. Anyways, he's got a lot of good stuff. So when he goes to Thailand, he sees how skinny all these people are that eat rice. I also admire the fact he lives a relatively free life. You know, most people, they have a job which they don't really want to do. They have to do it because they need the money to pay their bills. And so to some extent, you have to sell out a little bit in that sense. Otherwise, you're broke and you starve. You know, Durian likes riding bicycles. He likes training people in nutrition. That's what he does. I admire somebody who's able to act out their dreams and make it happen, figure out how to make enough money to do what they want to do. So all of that is admirable. He's in excellent physical shape. You know, and one thing that's funny, he says very often people will tell him that he's too skinny, and then simultaneously they'll tell him, but the diet he recommends and that he eats makes people fat. You know, it's so stupid. And in a sense, he said that he basically does the Kempner diet. He eats rice, he eats a lot of fruit, and he eats sugar and occasionally veggies. That's the Kempner diet. He's a living embodiment of the Kempner diet, and a competitive athlete and a competitive coach. Okay, he's also very entertaining, and he's funny. Okay, he makes fun of a lot of these nutrition experts, and he's very entertaining when he does it. I find myself watching his videos more than I want to. I just enjoy him, and I just go, oh, I'll watch a little more. his typical video, he sort of rants and rambles in a little bit of a repetitive manner. Then his beautiful girlfriend walks around like in a bikini or something. It kind of holds your attention for a little while. And then you say, why am I watching this? I got stuff to do. And then just when you're about to turn off the video, he starts saying some really good stuff that's funny, it's clever, and it's true. And it, defies conventional wisdom. Do I have some criticism of him? Yeah, I got some criticism of him. Number one, he's a big recommender of vasectomies. I don't think vasectomies are good. Even though he's had a good experience with it, and he said the best thing about a vasectomy is he could ride freely bareback. Okay, fine. But the reality of vasectomies is I've seen tons of complications from them. Tons of guys, they get a vasectomy and then their balls hurt the rest of their life. I've seen that. Ask any ultrasound technologist because they scan scrotums all the time, and they're going to tell you, the guy has a vasectomy, he's got aching balls. That's so common, it's not even funny. He withholds some info. He wants you to buy his book, which you can understand. He's got to pay his bills too. And you can't buy his book from Amazon. You got to go to some place or something. At least I wasn't able to buy it on Amazon. I wanted to. Durian also does the right thing in a lot of situations. I like that, He reminds me of guys like I grew up with, They didn't go to college. They don't really give a shit. They'll just tell you the truth about a situation as it is. For example, he admires Lance Armstrong. I admire Lance Armstrong too. Lance Armstrong was dying of metastatic cancer. Okay, everybody thought the guy was going to die. Instead, he comes back from metastatic cancer and he wins the Tour de France. For that alone, he should always be remembered, okay? He made bicycling a lot more popular. And yeah, I know he did some things he shouldn't have done with the EPO and anabolics, but other people were doing the same thing, and Lance shouldn't be singled out as the only guy doing that. And I'm glad they'll change the rules on that, but, everyone was doing it. So these are other things I like about Durian. He's brave. He stands up to so-called conventional experts that are liars and full of BS. He stands up for the truth. He stands up for his friends. So I admire Durian Rider, and I'll make him Nutrition Hero number 14.